Hey there. So, this is a tale of two dogs. This story here is intended to demonstrate the power of your thoughts and that your thoughts will go to work regardless of whether or not you even really want them to, and definitely whether or not you perceive the result of these thoughts to be in your best interest. So, in other words, I guess if I have to say in other words, it means I didn't do a good job of explaining that. But in other words, your thoughts are loyal, like a dog, and they're going to go to work for you whether you like it or not. So, Commander is the first dog. Commander was a dog that we had when I was in high school, and then those kids went to college. So, a dog likes a stable relationship. When we went to college, when I, the principal caregiver of the dog, went to college, he was probably feeling a little lonely. When I visited several years after my initial departure, so this was like 4 years after I was a fourth year in college. I was driving home and I found myself thinking about my dog, Commander. I realized in that drive home that I had out of sight and out of mind, okay? And I got home and it seemed like Commander was negatively affected. Like he just felt depressed, okay? He felt neglected. And I don't know that my parents were spending a lot of time, entertaining the dogs. And the kids who initially when we had the dogs when the dogs were younger and we were the ones playing with them, we were not there. So that's a big shift in a dog's life. And he was clearly a little forlorn, just depressed feeling. Okay, and that really got to me, okay? I started to feel responsible. And in those days, if I was feeling down on myself, I self-medicated with the marijuana. A lot of it. So I go back into the back tool shed and I start smoking some reefer. And while I'm smoking there, my thoughts are going all over the place, very erratic, which is typical with me if I smoke weed. My thoughts become quite unstable. So they were focused on one dynamic. Commander would be better off if he went into the woods and never came back. Okay. And by the end of my smoke session, that's what I was convinced of. Commander would be better off if he went into the woods and never came back. He ain't getting the attention that he deserves. So, and I ain't taking him to college. Not because I couldn't physically do it, but because I just didn't want that responsibility. So, yeah, he's better off if he's gone. A few hours later, I get a phone call. I'm high as a kite. My cousin's on the phone. Hey, Commander just got hit by a car. You want to come help me look for him? He went into the woods, disappeared. Well, rather than tell my cousin that the reason I couldn't go look for him was because I was freaking stoned as a goat, I just told her that I didn't want to go look for him because there's no way we were going to find him. And she was surprised, did not expect me to hear me say that. But I was not, I didn't want anyone, her especially, to know that I was high as a kite and had been, wishing in a way that my dog would actually go into the swamp and die and never be seen from again. Okay. So, first dog. Okay. Power of your thoughts. It's no coincidence, right, that a few hours after I was convincing myself that Commander and I would be better off if he went into the woods and was never seen from again, that he got hit by a car the same night and was never seen from again? Okay. So the next dog, Kingsta. this was recently, a few years ago. I'm dating Gloria, who is now my wife, and she wants to get another dog to be buddies with the dog Edith that she's had for years. She wanted Edith to have a partner, a little friend. I didn't want a dog. We were just dating, so the idea of us getting a dog was kind of funny. We've been dating for a few months. And I really didn't want a dog because I had just finished a dog sledding adventure where I worked as a dog musher tour guide for a season. And while initially I dived into it and was just overcome with the endorphins of running a dog team, by the end of the season, I realized that the dogs were getting screwed, okay? They were getting the short end of the stick day in and day out. And I saw how our desire for personal recreation was abusing and taking advantage of the dog's loyalty to humans. And it really messed with me that I had, in a sense, willfully blinded myself to that dynamic and to the reality, to the truth behind the human and dog interactions. And I ignored it because it was so much fun for me. So that was messing with my head pretty bad. And I didn't want another dog because I felt just guilty. And I knew if I had another dog, that it would force me to come to terms with all of that. So I said no. But Gloria is persistent. And eventually I said, okay, Gloria, I'm down for another dog. If it's a husky, a male, and a rescue. I knew she didn't want a husky because of the hair. I knew she didn't want a rescue because of the behavior patterns they already have. And I didn't think she'd say yes. But she did. She said yes. Okay, Alex. Deal. Well, the very next day, Gloria logs onto her Facebook account and her old college roommate has a post. Will anyone adopt this dog? Husky, male, lives in an alleyway. He's chained up all day. It's summer. It's Charleston. It's hot. He has no water. And melted heart. Okay, we'll take him. So, to up the ante, the synchronicity ante, his name happened to be a nickname for St. Francis of Assisi. Some kind of, from what Gloria's research showed her, is that within Mexico, they have a nickname for St. Francis of Assisi. I want to say it's Kickin'. And anyway, this was his name. And that is significant because my confirmation saint that I had to choose when I was in Catholic school, St. Francis of Assisi, who I chose because he could talk to animals. So there you have it. The power of your thoughts, right? It's not so much that your thoughts are going to just create stuff out of thin air no matter what. But I do believe from what it seems, if you put a lot of energy towards something in your head, you're drawing something to you, okay? It wasn't that I had a single thought, that Commander was going to be better off if we went into the swamp and died. It was that I spent minutes upon minutes, probably 10 minutes or so, putting energy towards this thought, confirming it and reconfirming it in my head, putting belief into that thought. And then a few hours later, he gets hit by a car and is never seen from again. Okay. And then Kingsta. All right. I essentially make a prayer that I'll take a dog if it's this and this, a husky male rescue. And then the very next day, Gloria's old college roommate brings to our attention a male husky rescue whose name happens to be my confirmation saint. I mean, come on. So yeah, your thoughts are loyal like a dog, which is also God spelled backwards. So your thoughts are loyal like God. He's going to bring things into your life for better or for worse. So that's the food for thought.